You've done some work in terms of trying to map the trajectory of First Nations children and young people following release from the criminal justice system. Are you able to speak to the commissioners about that trajectory?
The work that we've done so far that's published with respect to children released from youth detention has been focusing on mortality, death. That particular study was a study based in Queensland where we looked at every young person who had contact with the criminal justice system over a 14-year period, and we looked at their contact with the adult criminal justice system and their risk of death. A couple of the key findings from that is that in that whole group of young people, almost 50,000 young people, there were more than 1,400 deaths. I sometimes stop and remind myself, try counting from 1 to 1,400 and remind myself that each one of those is a young person with a family. The rates of death are consistent with what we see in adults, higher among Indigenous than non-Indigenous kids who've been in contact with that system. 1/3 of those deaths is due to suicide. Other important causes of death include violence, overdose, injuries, notably including road traffic injuries in these young people, but even the rates of death due to non-communicable diseases in young people who've been through the system are around twice what you would expect. So again, the sedimentation of disease, it's the most unwell, at-risk young people in our communities who are put in this system, and what we see after their very brief contact with that system is often really bad news. Children who are only ever charged with a crime, never convicted of anything, never served an order, still at more than 3 times higher risk of death. So the point here is that these are children who weren't really exposed to the system other than being charged with a crime, and they're still at extraordinarily increased risk of death. So that's more than 300% increase in risk of death.